Welcome to Brew's Corner, and this is the segment of Brews on Fire. There are several things that I'm fired up about that's going on today, and I'm going to talk facts and this need for uniform or universal consistency. And the one thing I'm going to talk about is the systemic issue with excessive force in our police departments. Why are there discrepancies? Why are there inconsistencies on how to apprehend? I'm reading on this, I'm looking up things, and I'm hearing that with regards to apprehension, these police departments, these trainings that are going on, are saying no more contact around the head or throat with regards to when you apprehend somebody. So for me, I don't understand why there's these inconsistencies. And I'm going to get into this further from what Obama had said regarding his task force and this reform he wanted with regards to these policing and these reforms and these training. I'm going to refer to that here in a minute, but I want to go to saying, number one, the four families that have suffered recently, Black American families. My heart goes out to you and your families. This is a tragedy, to say the least. But one thing I'm really disappointed in is during these peaceful protests, you see the families kneeling and praying and the media shoving microphones in their face for the soundbite as they're praying. There's got to be some decency with regards to media in showing a sense of respect as someone's kneeling and praying instead of sticking the microphones in their face. That's going too far. And I'm going to move on here to another issue I'm having. Minneapolis chief police respected the family by firing those four officers. And as we know, those officers, with regards to this recent police brutality, have been charged. Great that they've been fired and charged. What happened, though, with regards to the 18 complaints before this incident on that one officer is my question. Why does it take a tragic event for us to be proactive and create change? As we can see, we need a change with regards to policing. But again, I bring up this example of, could this have been avoided if this officer was not allowed to be on the scene because he had a prior of 17 to 18 complaints beforehand? Great that those four got fired and charged. What happened regarding the 17, 18 incidences before that? Again, this is a systemic thing. This is excessive force by police in some areas, not all. But that's my issue is there's no consistency. And then people want to throw, it's a racial thing. It is a systemic thing with policy and procedure. So I go to this Obama. He was in office for 8 years. And I'm hearing on the news, this is very true, this police brutality and what people are calling discrimination has been going on for decades still. Centuries even, I've heard people refer to. Obama was in office for 8 years. He implemented a task force that had policing training reform, change of how we handle apprehension of criminals. But if you watched him talk yesterday, he said he introduced those items, that task force, not implemented. He was in office for 8 years. How is that not implemented? The other thing I want to mention that I'm very disappointed about is, well, I'm happy about, but also disappointed. Great that Biden and Obama came forward as individuals to talk to the nation. At least some leaders are stepping up to actually address the major things that are going on with the pandemic and the social injustice. But Biden, Democratic Party, why go up to that podium by yourself and not showing a sense of support or togetherness? Better choice, better move, great speech by Biden, no doubt. Great words, resonated with me. Why not stand next to Obama as a unified force? Two Democrats, one white American, one black American, showing we're united. I think that would have been a better choice. Would have got more kudos from me regarding that. But I also want to go to three major things that are holding us up as a nation. One is hospitals. We had Obamacare, and Biden is saying he wants to extend that Obamacare. Let's be honest, not all people can afford Obamacare even. So I compare it to Canada, our neighbor, by the way. Anybody of any socioeconomic background can get Medicare. They put money into their hospitals. They take care of those essential workers. They pay them. They show respect. They show that those are important entities to their country. Hospitals, Medicare, regardless of race, regardless of your socioeconomic background, we're going to provide Medicare for everyone. How? We, as the best nation in the world, the United States, do we not have that? Number two, we show too much partisanship. We are divided. Absolutely. Again, look at Canada. Not nearly the number of deaths during the pandemic. Very proactive. Hospitals were funded. Hospitals way more funded than what we do. Look it up, research it. These are the facts. No partisanship going on in Canada. Very united. Pro-Canada right now. Absolutely. And then education system. I want to go to this all lives matter. Now, because we are united, I think the chant of all lives matter should be going on, of every race, of every person with a disability. Let's look at our education system. Students, people with disabilities. There's an injustice there. Race, yes, we do see racial segregation in people that are marginalized. Why are these marginalized populations, Black Americans, Brown Americans, why are they not able to have free Medicare? I get that. But I don't want to talk about racism and discrimination if we don't talk about all groups. Students with disabilities in schools are not getting everything they need. Schools in marginalized communities are not getting the best teachers and education that they need and deserve. Got to put the money towards education. Got to put the money towards hospitals and stop being divided. If we're together and we develop policy for Medicare that's better and pay our essential workers, including teachers, to better our education systems, we are the best country in the world. Let's show it. Let's start getting back to who we are, what our traditional values are. Let's get back to who the United States and what we stand for. And those are important things that we need to be aware of. Those are the facts. We have great young leaders. We need leaders of energy to step up. I agreed with Obama. Yes, we have the great young leaders. You're seeing it in these peaceful protests. Wonderful. We need more of that. Okay? We need to communicate, collaborate, give the confidence to our younger generations that they can lead. But we have to show what that looks like. We have to teach what that looks like instead of just saying that in general. Instead of just saying that in the comfort of our own home. Go to these demonstrations, leaders, physically. Get away from those conference rooms. Obama, Biden, go amongst the crowds. Let's get back to what MLK did. Amongst the crowd, speak among the people. The JFKs, speak among the people. Franklin D. Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, who lit fires under our ass to do better and to make improvements. Let's be honest here. Let's be truthful. Yes, there are societies that are marginalized. However, there are those low socioeconomic communities that also have what everybody else has, such as EOP systems in colleges where you can afford to go to school. That's universal. We have people that are minorities in administrative roles, teaching, coaching roles, vice presidents of business, presidents. We're making progress. Let's not go back to square one and be divided and say this is all a racial issue. No, it's not. It is a systemic policy issue through all the things I've mentioned today. Those are the facts. That's what we should be talking about. We should be using a model that works. Again, pro-Canada. They fund their hospitals. They fund their education, their teachers. There's no partisanship. They're united. They've handled situations better than what we have. How can that be? We are the best country in the world, and I believe that wholeheartedly. We need to do better. But we also have to state the facts that there is equal opportunity for everybody, for jobs, for schooling. Where is there not equal opportunity? What we've been seeing with the policing, what we've been seeing with again, people having still to pay for Medicare. If other nations can do this, we can do this because we are the best and we are the United States of America, and we need to love all people that are Black Americans, brown Americans, red Americans, white Americans, people with disabilities. All lives matter should be our chant. So, 3 major areas we need to focus on. 1, better policing, consistent, being universal with change, needed change. Education system. Let's improve for all people with disabilities, people that are marginalized, low socioeconomic backgrounds. And let's start helping everyone when it comes to Medicare. Let's not decide on who gets what medicine and who doesn't. That is not us. That is not what we stand for. Listen to my previous video. What is it you stand for? No, it's what is it we stand for. All people of all races, all people of all disabilities should have the right to hospitalization, to Medicare. We are the United States of America. We are the best. Let's take care of each other. We're seeing Black Americans hurting Black Americans, small businesses. We're seeing white Americans fighting on the streets amongst white Americans. We're seeing police officers excessively using force, hurting the people they're supposed to protect. In Buffalo, New York, where I'm originally from, police officers hurt, injured, being driven over by vans and cars, and being critically hospitalized. The safety of our police officers also. What are their names? Who are those police officers who have been severely injured during these nasty riots? Yes, most of them have been peaceful during the day. Peaceful. I will say this. The protests are better. They're more peaceful. But let's look what happened in Buffalo, New York 2 nights ago. Police officers getting driven over, being critically injured and losing their lives. What are their names? I've yet to hear the media say those people's names. Black Americans of those 4 families recently that have lost their loved ones. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to all lives. Black American lives, white American lives, brown American lives. people with disabilities. That's who my heart goes out to, all lives. This has been a segment of Brews on Fire. This has been Brews Corner. Tout it.